talking about sci-fi books and whatnot, but let's shift to like history stuff.
Sure.
Because you said you read nonfiction also.
What era do you want to talk about?
Well, I just whatever. What's your go-to, or do you rotate?
I do rotate because
That's
I
how I
mean,
am.
you know, 7th grade you wore World War II out, 8th grade you wore the Civil War out, 10th grade you go, well, World War I will be fun, and then you get to college and that's when you lose most of them.
Mm-hmm.
You start having to take college history courses, but oh man, I went all over on that too. I took history of civilizations and sailing, which was
sailing.
Yes, I had a professor.
Very important though on the growth and development of society.
This professor owned just a little catamaran down at the Ross Barnett Reservoir in Jackson, and he wanted an excuse to sail it. So he pitched this idea to the school, and he got some upper level history students to get on board with it. And we did legitimately study the Carthaginians, the Phoenicians, the Vikings, the spread of civilization, how it develops near the water, how the ocean plays. And then we would spend half of our class time out on the reservoir on catamarans.
Sweet. That sounds like a good excuse to get on the water. It was great.
And it just taught me mostly how to sail.
Well, that's good. I don't know how to sail.
Not a lot of history, but it did teach me that there is no era where you cannot find some fun stuff to learn.
Yeah. So I have bounced all over the place. I've gone through the American Revolutionary period. There was a long time, and I still circle back to that. I'm very interested in that time span. And then ancient history, like the Greeks, the Romans, and then sort of a focus on the Spartans. And,
okay, so we got like the mid-modern, post-Bronze Age history.
Yeah.
And then any Gilgamesh?
So I got a little bit into some like Scandinavian history. I got a little bit into some Middle Eastern history,
but
like
not a lot of Sumerian, Mesopotamia.
Not that. No, I haven't really gone that far back on most of what I personally researched. I have gone further than that, like on early man, like like the development of that. But then like some of those early cultures, no, I haven't.
I mean, they didn't leave a lot. So.
Yeah. Now my wife's big on those. She has these theories, and she don't like me bringing this stuff up because it makes her sound kind of weird. But it is what it is. But she believes that there have been ancient civilizations that were more advanced than our civilization, and just through eons of time,
very biodegradable plastics.
It may be that they just don't exist anymore. And they have found cities and stuff that in just a few hundred years have been overtaken by the jungle and things. So I guess there's some evidence of that, but
I mean,
I don't know that they were flying around in spaceships and stuff,
Yeah, but I mean, there are multiple periods of history, especially in the Fertile Crescent, where you had a civilization that was almost to the scale of a Carthage or an early Rome that was wiped out by the next one. You had the, Byzantine, no, not Byzantines.
Well, you were just talking about when the library of Alexandria, when it was burned down, supposedly there were just all kinds of documents, secrets, things that were lost.
I mean,
to
that
time.
was apparently where almost all of known writing had been culminated to that point.
Yeah.
And backups are not a common thing, unfortunately. So
more recently, I started reading. It kind of initially started with reading like Old West sort of stuff. Like I read
some Louis L'Amour.
No, what is the name of that book? It's about the Comanches. It's really good. It's about I can't think of the guy's name, but it's a really good book. It details basically the last stand of the Comanches in the Old West. But that ended up leading me to reading about the samurai in the 1600s and 1700s because I was big into that anyway because of martial arts.
And a great Tom Cruise movie.
But yeah. Well, but so like I got real deep. Recently I've been real deep in like what were the samurai really like?
Yes.
And so what I found was actually disappointing. They were originally, prior to like the 1600s, they were just warriors. And they were kind of crude warriors too.
Yes.
They were.
I mean, they were your enforcers.
Yeah. They weren't all philosophical and this duty and honor and loyalty. That developed out of necessity to try to prove why they should stay in some rank and class above other people.
Yes.
Is to show that they were full of honor and they had this code and all that kind of stuff.
It is really interesting how European culture and Eastern culture developed those organically, almost separate from each other. The knight class and the samurai class and the feudal system. It's almost like it was kind of pre-programmed for us, a natural idea.
That's another thing I've read a lot on is medieval history in Europe, and then Vikings, specifically Vikings.
Or how we have pyramids on complete opposite sides of the planet.
Yes.
For some reason.
Well, that's also, though, a very stable structure.
I mean,
So, I mean, if you're building stuff and math is math, I don't know about the arguments that we got. They had some communication because of where they're located.
Well, I'm still waiting on that 2013 calendar issue to drop, but
Well, every year they readjust that to be like, well, it was really this calendar they should have used.
those
They were just
Mayans
now
were
coming up
smart,
on
man.
it.
That's convenient.
Yeah. Well, that's modern humans. You're going to twist the facts to fit your narrative.
Absolutely.
That's what a lot of people do now.